Welcome back, everyone. It's a new year. 2025 is here, and with that comes a brand new batch of movies. January arrives with a surprising number of horror and action movies and a few other things sprinkled in. So let's go ahead and start things off with our first solid movie of the year, which arrives on January 10th.
How'd you guys meet?
Prison. Tinder, actually.
Den of Thieves 2 Pantera is the sequel to the gritty action thriller, and this time Big Nick is back on the hunt in Europe and closing in on Donnie, who is plotting a massive heist of the world's largest diamond exchange. Den of Thieves 2 again stars Gerard Butler, and if you love high-stakes heist movies, then this is not a bad way to start 2025. Den of Thieves 2 Pantera releases in theaters on January 10th. After that, on the 13th is Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. This is basically a horror version of Peter Pan that reimagines Neverland as a dark and horrifying place. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare is the third installment in the Twisted Childhood universe, along with Blood and Honey Parts 1 and 2. These are basically children's properties that entered the public domain and are getting turned into horror movies. There's also a Mickey Mouse horror movie coming soon. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare releases in theaters on January 13th. Then there's another classic property being reimagined on the 17th, Universal's Wolfman. Wolfman is the latest Universal monster to be reimagined, along with The Mummy in 2017 and The Invisible Man in 2020. Wolfman is, of course, your classic werewolf story about a family living on a farmhouse that are attacked by an unseen animal. I think it's pretty cool to see these classic monster movies being remade. Wolfman will be releasing theatrically on January 17th. Also on the 17th is Netflix's big-budget action comedy movie, Back in Action.
You know that if I didn't have superior inner thigh strength, you would be dead.
Your inner thigh saved my life.
Back in Action is about former CIA spies who have settled down and started a family, but are pulled back into espionage after their secret identities are exposed. Back in Action marks the big screen return of Cameron Diaz, who took a 10-year break from acting. She teams up with Jamie Foxx in this high-octane action movie that will be releasing on Netflix on January 17th. Then another action thriller drops on the 17th called Alarum. It stars Sylvester Stallone and Scott Eastwood and is about two spies who go rogue in order to get married but come under attack at their remote cabin hideaway by various intel agencies seeking a stolen hard drive. Alarum will release in select theaters and video on demand on January 17th. Then for another horror flick, check out Presence. This is directed by Steven Soderbergh, who you may remember from Ocean's 11. This time, Soderbergh is making a horror movie about a family that becomes convinced they are not alone after moving into their new home in the suburbs. This movie gives me heavy Paranormal Activity vibes, but instead of being shot on stationary cameras, it's shot from a first-person perspective. It's already gotten solid early reviews. You can watch Presence in theaters on the 24th. Another movie that drops on the 24th is the action thriller Flight Risk.
Okay, you got a scratch there.
Maintenance. Occupational hazard.
Flight Risk comes from director Mel Gibson, and yeah, I had to double check my notes on that one. This is the first movie directed by Gibson since 2016's Hacksaw Ridge. Flight Risk follows an ordinary man whose life is turned upside down when he is forced to take part in a dangerous covert mission aboard a transatlantic flight. Mel Gibson was, of course, famously blacklisted from Hollywood for numerous controversies over the years, so it will be interesting to see his return. If you want to check out Flight Plan, you can check it out in theaters on January 24th. And a third movie drops on the 24th, this time on streaming, Star Trek Section 31.
What are you doing in my space station?
I'm giving you a chance to get back in on the action on a galactic scale.
Star Trek Section 31 is the 14th Star Trek movie and a spin-off from the series Star Trek Discovery. In Star Trek Section 31, Emperor Philippa Georgiou joins a secret division of Starfleet tasked with protecting the United Federation of Planets and must face the sins of her past. Apparently, it's not a requirement to have seen Discovery in order to understand Section 31, so any Trekkie or sci-fi fan can check it out. It releases straight to streaming on Paramount Plus on the 24th. There is one big comedy movie releasing in January, You're Cordially Invited. It stars Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon and is about a hapless wedding planner who gets caught in the middle of a very chaotic and over-the-top wedding. You're Cordially Invited comes from Nicholas Stoller, who also directed Forgetting Sarah Marshall and Neighbors. You can stream it on Amazon Prime Video on January 30th. Then on the 31st is horror thriller film Companion.
There was just a spark.
The filmmakers have been keeping a tight lid on the plot to preserve the film's suspense and intrigue, but they do describe it as a psychological thriller that delves into a dark and twisted exploration of love gone wrong. You can watch Companion in theaters on January 31st. I also have a few bonus movies for you. Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul is an animated film in which the iconic duo returns to tackle a mystery involving a sinister plot by rogue chickens. You can watch that on January 3rd on Netflix. One of Them Days is a heartfelt comedy that follows a woman navigating the hilariously chaotic ups and downs of city life. You can check it out, I believe, in theaters on the 17th. Then Henry Danger the movie sees Nickelodeon's favorite superhero make his big screen debut in this action-packed adventure. It releases on Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus on the 17th. And finally, Dogman sees the beloved graphic novel series comes to life in this animated feature that releases in theaters on the 31st. That is it for January. Anything looking good to you? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have a happy New Year's, everyone. I will see you again soon.